We be rolling. Try to catch me riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Try to catch me riding dirty. Look at me, I'm riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Whatever happened to Chameleonaire? If you could be one rapper.
Jay-Z.
Why Jay-Z?
All the monies.
Yeah, he's just got like the high score.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
You always want to be the guy that's in spot one.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 28 of Dad Knows Best. I am Harrison Mudge, dad of one, and I'm with
I don't know where to put my phone.
my shelf-searching co-host Adam Callow, father of two.
How are you, mate?
Oh, I was going to ask you the same damn question. I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, really good, man. I want to actually pick up the conversation of where we left off last time because I don't feel like we got...
Good recall.
I don't feel like we got a resolution there.
Let me make a note of this one.
What was the outcome? Hold on, let me just set the scene because someone might have just tuned into this podcast.
Just remind people and myself what the question is.
Okay, and I guess if you are new to this show, I'm addressing the camera now. I didn't do that last time.
Camera,
cool.
Mate.
I'm new to this YouTube thing. If you're new to the show, this is like mid-conversation that we're speaking about now because the last 8 minutes of the last show, I tried to cut it off to save the listeners of having a disjointed episode, but Harry continues to go on a roll. We spoke about...
Just hitting those retention numbers, mate. You want to keep them wanting more.
I think you lost people.
No. Well, you're picking up on the conversation that we lost people on, so stick around till the end for another exciting...
We touched on the fact that... your childhood raised in a family, is it like, how do you, I don't really know the right terminology, a Jehovah's Witness background, is that the best way I can explain it? I don't really know.
You don't need to add the
hand gestures.
extra syllables and the hand gestures, no, but that is correct.
Okay, cool.
It was a Jehovah's Witness background.
I like to hit the syllables.
Just to make it clear that you're listening to what I'm saying, I'm going to hit the air every time.
If you want to see this, you have to head over to YouTube and hit subscribe with Dad Knows Best because Harry is putting a lot of work into the YouTube channel. So go and hit subscribe. So, to pull it back without plugging the YouTube channel too much, I'll try not to do it more than 4 times during the show.
Search Dad Knows Best.
There's 2. You had a conversation with Emmy where you were assuming that Christmas wouldn't happen within your family for a period or indefinitely. Talk.
Not quite correct. So we do Christmas.
Okay.
So like we've got the tree up now. Like a week late, but it's up now. Got the lights on, looks great. I
want to butt in right now then. Can I butt in right now?
Well, you always do, so why break tradition?
I actually want to get onto Christmas traditions as well. If you... One sec.
No, I'm going to jump in because you're going to steer this in a different direction. I have a question.
I don't have a statement.
Let me just explain.
I want to ask this question. Where if you already celebrate Christmas with you and your wife, why was a thought process happening that you wouldn't?
Because the conversation wasn't about celebrating Christmas.
Okay, then you're right. We need to have that conversation.
That's not what this conversation is about.
Let's go.
Like we do Christmas. We put a tree up. Say Merry Christmas.
As festive as that?
Yeah. That's the most festive I've been. I mean, my coffee's got Christmas on it.
Your Starbucks.
Yeah, my cafe from Starbucks. This is not sponsored. So the question was more about, are we doing Santa, not are we doing Christmas? I've not got a problem with doing Christmas. Christmas is something we do.
Can I ask
to a very minimal extent?
Can I ask a really ignorant question?
Go on then.
As a child
What's
growing
the
up,
difference?
As a child growing up, did you celebrate Christmas and not Santa, or just not Christmas at all?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
But and obviously we started doing Christmas Christmas to our family is more about a family thing anyway, which it is for most people, obviously. But for us, it got to be more of like, we're just going to celebrate what is actually kind of if you take the whole shopping and all this shit out of it, it's more about just like, all the shops are shut, nothing's going on, TV on, dinner with the family, just chilling, like that's just a really nice experience, as most families probably do. It was more just like, I think I said it at the end of the last show, but it was when I was raised, the justification I was told was that I get presents all year round. And I was like, you're right, Mum, you're right. And which we did, and I don't ever look back and think, never got a damn thing. Although we never went to Toys R Us as much as I'd like to, and that's kind of a running joke in the family. It's like, Toys R Us shut down, missed that opportunity.
Salt in the wound.
Crushed, mate, absolutely crushed. So it was just more. So like when it came to Christmas time and things like that, when I was at school, when I was really young, it was really not difficult, but it was like a really weird scenario to be in, where everyone was like, oh my God, I got this, that, and the other for Christmas. What did you get, Harry? I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Okay. I've got all these things, but I've not got anything specifically for Christmas. Anyway, like, it's not like I'm scarred by that, but it was more just so that being the background, it was like I don't like the idea of, I also don't like the idea of, when it comes to Christmas, people feeling compelled to buy someone a gift. One, like, and as you get older, you understand the financial stress it puts on people unnecessarily. Like, let's not
move this conversation to Secret Santa.
But it's more just the concept of like, for example, oh, Adam, it's Christmas. I need to buy Adam a gift because it's Christmas.
Agree.
Not because I want to, not because I've found something amazing. Admittedly, Christmas spurs you on to look for gift ideas, but like the whole thing, I don't like the idea that it's like, I need to spend £300-400 of money that I've not got.
I don't need a £400 gift.
Thank God for that.
It's the retail. It's the forced retail element that you dislike about Christmas.
Yeah, and I think that's come into it more as I've obviously got older and stuff. So I don't know whether that's just me being me, and I would have always thought this as I got older, even if we did do Christmas when we were younger, or whether it's a blend of like my personality and knowing what it's like to not do Christmas and still be just as happy.
Weirdly, when you said that, it's like a nature versus nurture discussion. As in, do you think, because you are so often throughout the year, you are so against retail and so against brands, do you think that's because of how you were raised when it came to like moments like Christmas? Not sure.
I think it's
because you can be very firm. I'm just going to be polite about the whole thing.
Once these heels are in, mate, they are not coming out. So I don't know, it's tricky. I think probably the one thing that I could potentially improve on myself is if I'm going to have a strong stance against Christmas and forcing me to feel like I need to buy someone something, I should probably try and back that up a bit more with actually making an effort in the summer, for example, to try and find someone a gift. Whereas at the moment, it's like I don't necessarily find someone a gift
advice. Okay.
all year round. And then when Christmas comes, I'm still complaining about the concept because it's the one time I'm being reminded that I probably should have thought about someone else.
Okay.
So I think there's that to it. But the main thing we were talking about,
I like when you pulled us back on track there,
was with the concept of Santa.
I was about to give you a Christmas list, but you pulled us back on track.
And I think the Santa thing does kind of stem from like kind of the upbringing. Like there's obviously an element of magic about it, but like ultimately I'm Santa and Mum's Santa. Do you know what I mean? Like we're the ones getting the presents,
and you want your child to know that.
Shouldn't that be the magic? It's like cause
what's magic about
because
that?
Ultimately that's all it becomes. So
yeah, but
sorry, you can play this Santa game all you want, but ultimately
the way you phrase the Santa game it makes it sound like you think Santa is purely there. And I agree with the statement around Santa and that part of Christmas and how retail it's got is absolutely sickening. However, there is part of me which, having like raised 2 boys and having them experience and understand the magic of Christmas and Santa and have to be on the good list and elves and all this crazy cool stuff.
I think the majority of that is the good list then, right?
Yeah.
Because that gets them to
some good
act
stuff.
right. But surely you just... And I'm not saying we're not doing Santa. Apparently we are. So it's not a problem. But so just before anyone kicks off, but I think you could probably achieve the same results by saying, Daddy ain't going to buy you this thing that you keep asking for unless you're a good boy. Not some random stranger that sneaks into the house undetected, gets past all the security, by the way.
I'll be honest.
Watches you while you sleep and makes notes, detailed notes of your activities all year round, monitoring you like a hawk.
2 things.
But be nice, because he'll buy you something. And when he brings his van around the back, just jump right in there, because he'll have loads of sweets for you.
You get twisted about Christmas. Our Santa doesn't go undetected because we put the snow on the floor. By the way, if there's any kids listening to this show, fucking turn off.
I specifically mark not for kids now.
Okay, perfect. We put the snow on the floor where he's walked up to the tree, put the presents around the tree and walked back. I just think it's... maybe it's just because it's what me and Sarah have considered just we have to do it. So it's interesting to hear that you're having that debate, which is cool. But for me, it's sort of like... It's a moment of a child's life that, because it's the way that I've been raised. Setting them up for a fall later on because you have to break it to them. No, but that's what life is in general. Like you protect you. No, it is. Like you protect. This is actually moving on to a bigger conversation because you do protect your kids. You bubble your kids away from the real world. Mm-hmm. Like you naturally try and make the world seem a better place than it is.
Yep.
And it's only when they get to sort of like maybe like 7 or 8 you start to communicate some things, and then 12 to 13, and then when they start to get out to the real, you know what I mean?
But then do you then go, by the way, all those gifts from Santa, it was me?
Yeah, 100%, because they know Santa's not real at some point in time. So they kind of go, Dad, I knew that 4 years ago, but I still wanted presents. Like, that's probably the point you tell them.
That's the point where you beat the child and say, don't you play games with me.
No, but I'm saying, like, they'll eventually know it's you. But for me as a dad, you want to keep the innocence and the magic in a child for as long as possible, because the world can be a really shit place. So as a parent, you naturally bubble the kid. And for me, Christmas is just one of those examples of trying to make the world seem more magical than it really is. Because kids are kids for a very short period of time.
Sure.
You can't just
I believe in a magic garden in the sky. So
what?
Garden of Eden and all that jazz.
Oh, okay.
So
I was like miles away there.
You know what I mean? It's all make believe in it.
But I think the key thing is like you.
But left to my own devices, I just wouldn't have necessarily made it a thing. As in, so like, take Emmy out of the equation for a second. Like, there'd be no Christmas theme throughout the house, and when it came to Christmas, it'd just be Christmas TV. Do you know what I mean? Just because for the same reason, like I don't like people buying me things, because usually they felt compelled to. They've not bought me what I really wanted anyway. And the things that I want have probably...
No one buy a gift for Harry.
I'd rather they didn't, though, because like the things that I want nowadays are usually very expensive, and I wouldn't ever dream of anyone buying me those things anyway. So
you asked me for a Tesla
so I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, so just laying the seeds on the Tesla, but like I can get the charge point installed if that helps.
Through the OLEV grant, because he gets some money back.
And what is that rebate? So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's probably just me being very like, this is my opinion, this is how I feel about it, and like to have to like deal with the very thing that I don't enjoy is painful.
But here's a question: does that result in you half-assing it for the next 5-6 years until
Emmy will go full in on it?
But are you going to be sour face about it, or are you going to get on board?
I'll play along with it. Cool. She wants to make fake snow prints.
So you're going to maintain the magic for as long as possible, but inside...
I'll be like, Elliot, he broke in again. He took my watch, but he left you some toys.
Sold your watch to pay for the toys.
Whoever that man is, he's selling my stuff to pay for it.
Okay, so As long as I believe that you are going to try and maintain the magic that your wife creates,
100%.
I'm cool with that.
One final question on Christmas at the Mudges. Well, Christmas at the Callows.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you begin Santa and Christmas presents? Because, and this, like, I don't know the answer, but like right now he can't hold his head up, and I think that he's not earned Christmas presents that are anything other than nappies or new clothes because he can't stop shitting in the ones he's already in. Like, we put him in the car yesterday and he just had a punami where it just came out the nappy and just on the seat and everything. And then to top it off, because he's got like a weird like reflux at the moment, so he'll just be sick all the time. So not only did he shit himself and it overflow out his nappy,
he was that disgusted with himself.
Just threw up down himself.
He looked down, and that's the only way he can look right now because he can't lift his head up.
He's just like,
so our view. By the way, let me just clarify one thing. When I say our view, it's because I've been well trained as a husband.
Yeah.
So the view within the Callow household,
the Callows are a single entity. I get that. I get
the Callow's view is
joint bank account. I get that.
100%. So
what's yours is mine. What's mine's mine.
So Riley was born in January. So January the 3rd. So he's basically like 1 year old by the time that Christmas came around. We celebrated him. Reggie.
And what? Remind me, what can you do when you're 1? Like, what's his skill set? Is he
zero skills?
Is he crawling?
Yeah, he must have been crawling by then. Yeah, I could probably go back. So, funny story with Riley's crawling. I was in his bedroom at Orchard Street where we lived in Ibstock, and I had a wireless keyboard in front of me. It was on the shelf, and he was looking up at it, and I brought it down, and because he wanted to press the keys, because the keys make a cool clicking sound. So it's an Apple wireless keyboard, and the first time he crawled was because I moved the keyboard away from him, and he crawled to fetch it. And I was just like, if that's
just like his daddy.
If there's any advert for Apple, indication of what it's going to be like in our house. But Reggie was, I guess he was like 6 months old, and we did Christmas with an understanding of we didn't. So naturally, family go OTT, like they just buy stuff. That's going to happen. Friends buy stuff because they're like super proud and happy for you. We sort of took the approach. We bought stuff, but honestly, probably more practical stuff, the same way you're going to take it. But it was actually less around the kid remembering and more about us having a kid and wanting to have those photos and those memories. So as the kid gets older, they can look at photos of when they were 6 months old and Santa came. Yeah.
There's some like cute baby grows and stuff at the moment. So yeah, that's cool.
That's and then Christmas for us now probably lasts. It's on the kids' radar from about November, and then we start using leverage to get them to be good. We probably get about 7 weeks worth of leverage out of it. It's worth it, in my opinion. The problem that I'm
going to use it for 12 months of leverage.
So your point is really valid, actually, because Riley knackered his iPad up. So I bought like a £70 iPad, and like 2 years ago off Gumtree. Just it's his YouTube machine, and he knackered it. And the problem is a lot of the games that he wanted to play on it just didn't work because they were just
what, the device was too old.
The device was too old. And then Apple Arcade came out, and I got it on my iPad for him, and he played loads of games. And then when his iPad broke, I was in a really tough spot because this was like end of October. And I'm like, that'll make a perfect, like, I could just get like another second hand, because you can get like an iPad Pro. We got an iPad Pro second hand for £135, which is amazing. But I'm like, that's perfect Christmas gift. But it was that far out that we couldn't wait. And when I genuinely mean that, because in the mornings I literally throw the iPad at him.
Is it? Okay, so this is an early Christmas present. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but it was so far out that we couldn't use it as a Christmas present, and that was a problem because now he's had big gifts throughout the year, and
he's still wanting something. He's got an insatiable appetite for more.
But Sora's fucking mental. Like, do you know? She doesn't watch or listen.
She'll watch the link I send her.
Watch this snippet. 27 seconds.
Just
27
hit
minutes in.
subscribe, scrub all the way through to the ads, and then watch.
But what's the name of the toy shop in Tamworth? It's like a chain now. Smiths. That's like the new Toys R Us, isn't it?
That's a bold claim.
Is that a big statement? Okay.
Yeah, Toys R Us was like the mecca of Toyland. It was like a different world, whereas Smiths is just like just the biggest shop.
I came back to my children, each with a Smiths catalogue, circling stuff they would like to ask Santa for.
Yeah.
One page was a circle, just a big circle. It was like that. I can't remember what it's called. It wasn't Connect.
So let's dive into that then. Let's keep this show Christmas themed today.
Cool, man.
Seeing as it's getting that time of year. That is a really interesting thing because obviously you obviously get the boys little things throughout the year, as all parents do.
Yep.
They're wildly circling everything in the catalogue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I used to do a similar thing with the Argos catalogue as well. You just be like, ooh. That's your dynamic is like, I want this because I know I'm getting something for Christmas. It's like, here's your options, Santa, to get me.
It's the easiest way to create a Christmas list before they can write. Actually, Riley started to do his first written Christmas list as well this year.
So for me, it was always... it wasn't like, here's what I want for Christmas, but it was like... But I basically just do that all year round. So, for example, like you see something in the catalogue and it's like, ooh... Hey Mum, have you seen this toy? It's actually not a bad price, and I've kind of wanted it my entire life, even though I just saw it 5 minutes ago. And I'd just be like doing that all year round. So I'd be playing the game all year round. So kind of the same thing. But do you allocate like a budget to toy spend throughout the year? Or just at Christmas?
No, just at Christmas. So generally the way that Christmas works for us is we have a day where we put the tree up and we make a thing of that, which is like the family put the tree up and we put the stuff on the tree and all that stuff and the decorations around the house.
We were late on that, so it's like, just fucking get it up.
You can get away with it now. There's no kids hanging stuff off it. But the kids have got into a routine now.
Luckily, there's no dog hanging off it either. He loves balls, but he just doesn't touch the tree.
Oh, fair play.
It's amazing.
Go Frank. But how I do Christmas is very similar now to how I do holiday planning with the wife, which is tell me the budget that we're working. So like, here's the budget that we agreed to work to. With holidays, it's go get 3 options and then let's chat about them. With Christmas, it's I do not care what you buy. I will be present on Christmas morning, and what the kids get will be as much as a surprise to them as it is to me.
And when they say thank you, Dad, you're like, you're welcome.
I'm like,
and you're like that to the wife.
Exactly. When they go, but on that point, they don't thank Mummy and Daddy.
No.
Santa's bought it them. That would infuriate you. This is where you're like, oh yeah.
Thanks Santa for spending £200 on Lego.
But we have like a budget per child. It's probably always remained within 100 and 250 quid.
For anyone listening, I'm selling an iPhone 11.
I think this year's is about where are we? It's like 180 plus little bits when we're out and we spring. So basically, I honest to God get Sorry to write down a list of everything she's bought and how much it cost.
And when you are budgeting,
that's the pulsar
when
back
you
in.
are budgeting for the gifts, are you saying, cool, here's the 200 quid for a round number?
Yeah.
Here's £200. Like, what do they want, and how many things can we get for this price? Or do you just try and find one mega present, or like, what's your approach to sussing the presents?
It changes with age. Because I think at young age, we never bought anything expensive because I very quickly learned that when they open a present, they care about the box more than what's in it. Mm-hmm. And they'd fuck about with the box for like an hour. And I'd be like, oh, why do we spend £35 on that?
Yeah.
So younger age, it's just smaller stuff and volume of just stuff because the attention span's dead small. And then we'd actually stage it throughout the day. So they'd open some stuff in the morning and then they'd open some stuff after our Christmas lunch. Because there's that many small things. Then as like Riley's got a bit older, and Reggie, I guess actually, there's a couple of larger items. So like he don't listen to this show. Riley's got a new bike coming. Not for kids, the show isn't. Definitely
not. If
not
he's
for my
listening,
kids.
he's stumbled across your phone.
Just make sure this does not come on in the car.
So he's got a bike.
So Riley's got a bike coming.
Bicycle. Yeah.
So he's got
Can
that.
he ride a bike?
Yeah.
Wow.
He can ride a bike with stabilizers, and we're just working on through removing the stabilizers. Oh, sorry, 1 second actually. How bad am I as a parent? Last 2 times he went out was no stabilizers, but we took him onto the grass across the road.
Whose bike is he on?
He's got. Let me just reframe. He has a bike right now, which is a toddler's bike, basically, with stabilizers.
Yeah.
We took the stabilizers off and then realized he's too big for that bike now. So we've got him a big boy's bike, basically. It looks like a BMX. Pretty cool. So that was 83 quid, that bike.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it was on sale from 110. I'm not going to name the retailer. They don't sponsor the show. Can do.
Email dadknowsbest@mbs.fm.
Perfect. This time of year would be much appreciated.
Please.
And then so then what we do is around that is we look through the stuff on his list and we sprinkle just like one big item and then some mid-tier items and then a bunch of little stuff for him to open and making sure the wife stays on budget.
Do you think that one big ticket item would suffice for a child?
No.
Because
depends on the age. That's a blanket statement, but depends on the age.
Because they're not. It's almost like they're not really valuing the value of the present. Because I guess they don't understand what it is. But like if you get, for example, Riley a bike and a bike only, whether you spend 80 quid or 280 quid on it.
Yeah.
Obviously for you that's what stops you from buying the other presents. But to him, he's just thinking, I only got one thing.
Exactly. So it would be like, I must have been naughty. I only got one thing off my list. Is how he'll think about it. Yep, I know you're in for your 80, but that's how it is.
That's where you give him a box with a belt in it and say, if you step out of line. I am joking, by the way.
So exactly that. So you have to look at the budget and work out. It's that balancing act of you want them to have an experience of opening presents. And that's part of the joy for them, which is like open, play with it for a second, move on.
Completely discard and never touch.
Yeah, so...
But I imagine you've got a good feel now for what they're into.
Yeah, but the first couple of years we didn't. Like, you're going to go mental when you've got presents that you've bought and you realise they care more about the box.
Mm-hmm. As soon as we can buy Nerf guns and stuff, we're sorted. Because then I'll be happy.
So I was watching...
Like, even if he's not playing with it, I'll see that Nerf gun now. I'll just play a little bit of Russian roulette with myself.
So, listener,
do I get a chocolate bar?
Listener of the show, Alex. Every time, genuine story. Like every time he comes to see the kids, firstly, he's surprisingly good with the kids. Like Alex.
I do know Alex.
Like we don't have to give the context, but he is surprisingly good with the kids. Like really good. And secondly, they really like him just because of like he brought Jenga up, and every time he comes up,
he just really takes them on and really engages with them.
Really engages them is the key thing. Like which surprised the shit out of me, to be honest, because I can't maintain a solid conversation with him for 3 minutes. But he's amazed with the kids, and he brought some. So firstly, he bought some water guns, which are an absolute piece of shit, and he's aware of that. Like they were terrible. The guns were. But we had some good water fights in the back garden.
Not Super Soaker 3000s or anything like that.
No. He bought like uber budget, and then tried to shoot some, and it wouldn't even cover the length of the garden. It was a thing.
It's where it leaks out of the trigger.
Exactly.
That's how bad it is. I know. Why did they do that?
But he's aware of this. And then next time,
he's getting them reordered to get some.
So he came back up. He came back up and bought some basically Nerf guns, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Let's hope these are good." They're so powerful. Like I've got a 3-year-old wielding this thing that would take your eye out. But solid gift. And the reason I mentioned the Nerf guns is I was watching Pete McKinnon, and I didn't realise, but in his old office, he's going through an office move right now.
He's got an armory, hasn't he?
Yeah, YouTuber. In case anyone doesn't know, go and check him out. But he's actually on one of the hit list for one of the other shows that we do. I'm trying to get Pete McKinnon onto... I'm not going to keep plugging shows because we don't do that show anymore. There's been a big delay on that.
If Pete is a parent as well, actually, so if you guys want him on this show...
Reach out to Pete McKinnon, tell him to get on here, or Startup Stories. But he had a Nerf Armory in his office. And like in the new office, I am so tempted just to nick that idea. I like it. It sounds fun.
The problem with Nerf guns is you got to pick the rounds up after you fired them.
Yes.
My little bro had literally a belt-fed magazine machine gun.
That is amazing.
So like the Nerfs, you put them into this belt, and as you're firing it, it feeds the belt out. It's like Saving Private Ryan, like where someone's like feeding the bullets through.
But you'd rather younger brother have a Nerf gun than what we used to do, which was BB guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't bring BB guns to the office. That's just going to get carnage. I don't know why we have to bring
I
any guns.
I think they're
I don't think they're illegal. I don't think they're illegal. I don't think they're illegal.
There's more stringent rules about them, though.
I don't think you can take them out.
They've got to be like orange now, though. A lot of them have.
Yeah. It's like the same reason that Apple changed the gun emoji to a water pistol.
Mm.
Probably the same reasoning. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Just Christmas.
Christmas.
So to wrap up this
Sounds like a plan.
this festive themed episode, this year is making a point that anything we do get Elliot is purely practical.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Because he's not gonna, he can't see it, let alone.
But you should probably like tell other people that as well.
I think they
know you.
And if they don't, I'll send them this link. But we like people that really nicely sent gifts anyway, and I think everyone already understands that when you've got a young baby, it doesn't do anything other than just eat, sleep, and shit, and apparently throw up as well. So like we've had just nice things like baby grows, which is great because like as he's growing, with the pile of baby grows that he doesn't fit it's growing as quick as he is.
Yeah.
So obviously.
So I think what I want to do for you this year is I ain't gonna get you and Emma a present. Ain't gonna happen. But I'd rather take that and roll it into something for Elliot that you normally wouldn't get, or it's on a nice to have list. But like, I just need you to tell me what that is. Otherwise, we'll be in a situation where we're having a very interesting. I'm like, oh, how'd you get it on? And then you'll be like, yeah, thanks for giving it with a receipt. Yeah, we've swapped it for 19 baby grows. So I could do with that. I need a thing off you. And if we said like a 30-ish pound budget, give or take a tenner, we'd like to get Elliot a gift. But
that as well is another real hard thing that even I experienced myself. Is like, even if I take Christmas out of it for a second, let's say I've got 50 quid to just spend on myself.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like, God, but what do I spend it on? How do I maximize this? Like I go through like so much.
Get the smallest violin out for your big problem.
No, but it's like,
what do I treat myself to?
So deciding on a gift and things like that. When you're saying, "Cool, just tell me what you want," it's like, that's a big ask.
No. But what I'm really saying is, Emmy, tell me what you want.
She don't listen.
I'll send her this. Everyone is getting sent this episode.
Are you on our emailing list? Yeah. So it's hard. You know what? Text her. Text her.
What I'll do is I'll ask Sarah to text Emmy, because I'm like, I'm not getting my brother something. I don't care about, like, I care about his kids. I do care about him, but like gift wise,
you've known each other a while.
Exactly, yeah.
A handshake and a Merry Christmas, or
pat on the back and a pint.
Yeah. To be fair, like, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Like when it comes to Christmas at me now, it's like I don't and birthdays or whatever. Like there's not the things that I would like or need or want are not things that I would ever expect anyone to buy me, and therefore I would rather someone let's not go off on a tangent, but like I also, but I think you're on the same side as me. I'm not a massive fan of like cards either.
Hate
like
cards.
I don't need anyone to like.
Biggest waste of money in the world.
I appreciate them obviously, and like there's like, and they're great messages inside. But like once you've opened it, oh, that's nice. And now it's like, now how long does that sit on the windowsill for?
The only time I think cards are acceptable are when they're from family members or friends that aren't going to see you during the period and want to send a message to you. Like if you are coming to my house, like I don't like to do presents for like me and you. If it's your birthday,
like the Merry Christmas.
Yeah, great. I'll read it. Why don't you just fucking say it and save yourself £3?
Yeah. Well, £3.
But I tend to do not gifts with like people like you. I tend to like, let's go for food. Let's have an experience. Let's do a meal. If we're spending time together, don't bring a card. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, if any of the people that are coming to my 30th dinner tomorrow night bring me a card and then listen to the show, you wasted your money.
I mean, some people do like cards, and like we got loads of cards for Elliot as well, which was nice. But we've not on your point. We've not actually seen a lot of those people.
That makes sense to me.
So it's just nice to have received things.
Because I'm thinking of you to the point.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a card. I'm going to put a message in it. I'm going to post it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah,
wrap it up, mate.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much for listening and or watching. If you've got any advice, pop tips, feedback,
I want to know. After listening to this show, it's dadknowsbest@nbs.fm. So dadknowsbest@nbs.fm.
I put a thing at the bottom. You won't.
Are you actually going to do it?
You can't see it now, but it's there.
Okay, cool.
It's there. Look,
just here.
There.
It's probably here.
No,
I need to be back.
No, you can't come from underneath. It takes up the whole bottom. So come over the top.
Oh, so here's the email.
Yeah.
Did I do it right? Fire that in. I want to know how old your kid is and how much you're spending on them at Christmas. We can keep it anonymous, but I want to know, like, budgets. I like those numbers. If we could get at least 10 of you to email in and say, I have a 3-year-old and this is what we're spending, potentially also whether you go big or lots of little or a blend in between, get that, send it in. Do not just be a lurker. Drop us a line. We appreciate everyone that participates in subscribing and listening to the show.
Like, I saw an eBay ad and there was a Princess Castle for £150.
My concern is Lego.
Ooh.
My concern is Lego.
Yeah, but think of the resale value.
I blame your mum for that, actually. She got me a Lego advent calendar.
I know.
That costs chunks.
See you next time.